So I have a bit of a sore throat today. I appear to have whatever seems to be going around locally, and it's uncomfortable to say the least. Anyway, a couple of days ago I picked up these two units, and what I have is a Nintendo DSi XL, and I also have a Nintendo DS Lite. Now this one, someone's decided to super glue that, and the case as well. You know, that's probably not the best. So later on I'm going to attempt to replace the case, but for now it's bleh. Anyway, this is the fun part. So this console apparently was returned to us, was purchased from a shop, and it was working perfectly fine, but it was brought back in a non-functioning manner. And I'm going to do something that I'm not too comfortable with right now, and that is to try and actually fire it up, just to show everyone who's watching what this is or isn't doing. Okay, I'm just going to pause it here for a second. Okay, so I'm back. I forgot this, which is very important for me. Magnetic screw mat, something you'll always want to be using. And the better sort of screws to use. Screwdriver, sorry. I'm going to install the battery. Now, important thing to notice, if you ever are buying one of these consoles, can you see that little tab? That's a watermark. It detects whether or not there's water. It should be white with, I think, red or dark pink dots, and that looks like it's been triggered. So we're going to take a look at what this is doing. I'm going to install the battery. And nothing. Now the second thing I'm going to do, wait a tick. So I've got here a charger for a this apparently came with a DSi, so anyway, let's see what happens when I plug this in and try to fire it up. So the console's just beeping or blinking, and install the battery. So I'm not going to do that anymore. Now there are a few things that could be wrong with this. Liquid could have gotten on the board, any kind of liquid, and that should easily be cleaned up. Fuses could have blown, so I've got this. Let's figure out what it is. Now, there are 3 screws up here that are visible, and then I have 4 underneath these little feet. So I'm going to try to remove them now. Also, I have actually tested this battery in another console, and the console fired up just fine at the shop, so that's a bad sign. Well, the screw had a bit of gunk on it, so that's not healthy. So I've got here just a small flathead tip, and I'm going to use that to preferably not do that again. So there's one screw. Two screw, 2, 3, and 4. So looking at this, these are just your standard. So Nintendo decided not to be a bunch of twats about this. That's nice of them. Although I don't like the idea of the self-tapping. Now, in case if anyone's wondering, although people probably won't be, I'm just lining the screws up in that sort of that manner. Right, so the back's coming off quite easily, and you need to be very careful when doing this. Yeah, I think a spudger. Just a sec. Okay, so what I think I'm going to do is leave this spudger here. I really should. Now, you got to be careful when opening this. I've looked at a few tutorials online and YouTube videos, and they've all showed basically there's a cable that connects the bottom of this to this part, and you don't want to tear it. Okay, so you can open it like a book, that's good. Now, I'm going to pop you off, and I'm going to pop you off. Okay, so this is for the memory card, for the SD. So there's two, one for the power, one for the SD. Huh. Interesting. I was expecting this to be a little bit more dirty. So where are those fuses? Well, I think first I will be removing and looking at this board. Well, that's good news. So this here, I'll bring it up closer. That is the sensor as well. It discolors if there's water. So like in here, can you see how this one's all pink? This one is white with red dots. So that's how it should look. So what all that means is that no liquid has gone to this side of the logic board. That's good. So I'm going to try to focus on this part. Flip that up. You know what? Hold it again. Okay, I'm back. So, my favorite tweezers. Now, I'm just going to remove all these screws and keep them in alignment, even though it doesn't really matter since they're all the same, as far as I understand. Okay, now I should be able to lift that up. Yep. Now you got to be careful of this power connector here, and it's linked in between this little grip, so you can lift it up. Now apparently this just lifts up. There it goes. Good, doesn't look like I've damaged it. So looking at this, I don't really see much of a gunk build up. Well, I do at this power point, or when the power comes in here, but I don't see anything that should stop it from posting. I'm still going to give this area a clean. Now there should be a, here we go, my first fuse. I don't want volts. I want connectivity. Alright, that seems to be working. So, I don't like the look of the gunk that's around that. So I've got these beauty cotton buds from a shop down the road, and I'll be using them to help me with cleaning this. You want to be careful when doing something like this anyway. You don't want to accidentally knock off some of the components. It should still be soldered on quite, well, soldering should be quite good, but still good idea to be careful. Now, I was concerned that this may have hit a bit of a problem, but I can't actually... okay. So, I thought there might have been something wrong with this. It was a little too flexible in the shop, but it's not. I don't see any I don't see any crack in the actual soldering, so... Okay, now I'm going to test this other fuse. Wow, that just came out. That is not what I was looking for. Okie dokie. Now the second fuse is right behind the DC jack. And that's good. Now I'm going to attempt to reinstall that. But first I need to remove the tape. There we go. Alright, so for now, I am going to attempt to power this unit up again. And what I'll be doing is just using 2 screws to hold this panel back in place. You know, I think I'm going to send the guy the video that I bought this off. Probably didn't say that right, but I'm going to send a video of this to the person who sold me this DS Lite. So anyone watching would have seen what I did, and it was simple. I just cleaned around that. The whole thing that was preventing this from basically firing up was just a little bit of gunk. And so that is, to me, just depressing. The simple fact that someone spilt goo on this, or liquid or something, and now after cleaning it up, it fired up. Unbelievable. Now, this part I really don't want to screw up. I mean, geez, who would? Alright, so I feel comfortable with how that was seated. And let's see if I can do this one. volume buttons working. Okay, so before I screw everything back together, I will test this out again. Okay. Actually, I'm going to test one more thing. Just a sec. Okie dokie. So, which one of these would DSi? I'm guessing Pokemon was. Now, I didn't actually play through Black 1 and 2 completely. I mean, I got these back in 2014, so... Alright, loaded the save file. Okay, so that is a cheap way of getting a hold of a Lite, DSi XL. I do want to buy a replacement case for this and get it working. Well, not working, but functional. I mean, that button's not working, and that, the back right, that's just, no. But other than that, this whole thing seems to work, so it's a great little console. The great thing about videos is that you can share them with people. Now, I did do a case replacement and a screen replacement already on a DS Lite. I will pull that out in a little bit and show everyone. Well, whoever watches. But I didn't exactly do a 100% good job. And that's the part that I'm kind of, I'm not proud of. I'll point it out. Alright, I'm back. So I should be able to reinstall that. Put that back on. Be morally depressed that just why? Come on. I probably should look at investing in a couple of pairs of these tweezers. I mean, I've already broken one pair, so this pair's a bit wonky, but that's not what's causing my problem right now. It's just my inability to focus on putting this little leg back in properly. I love it how there are a lot of people out there in my life that feel that I'm just not worth dealing with. You know, like my father, my mother. She realized after a while that, you know, you can't do too much because of your allergies, but at least you do what you can. And this was after I left home. The funny part was my sister. She'd just sit in a room all day, and then in the afternoon, before dinner was supposed to be put on, she'd just come out and want to know, where's dinner? My mother didn't like that. See, if I was going to be really, really freaky about this, and I'd want to get a replacement hinge, but that's sitting just fine. So let's check out both cameras. There's my iPhone. Someone's photos are still on here. Oh wow, the lag in that. Cool. Okay, so I'm happy with that. How I fixed a DSi XL. So, what about the DS Lite? Well, some time ago at Hackerspace, there was a bunch of stuff that was going to get thrown out. And in that bunch of stuff was this, and this Game Boy Advance, and here it is. So, when I originally got a hold of this, the screen didn't work. And I don't have any batteries to show you now. But if these consoles fire up and the screen's a bit wonky, just get a replacement screen. That's all I did. I did, however, also purchase a replacement shell because I was missing this, and that really ticks me off when the battery covers are missing. I have a copy of Pokemon Sapphire in here that's not Australian, and I like to collect the Australian copies of games. No, I wasn't missing any of the screws. I think I replaced the actual screen, this front panel here. I had to get a replacement one of these little, it just covers the LED. That was missing. I think I had to get one or two of the springs. So yeah, just buying a replacement shell ended up solving that problem. Now, somebody had done that. to this DS Lite console. It is shocking. I mean, this is just, what the hell? Carved it up like you wouldn't believe. So I got this. It's a clear shell. Now it came with this, so I'm thinking, okay, whatever. Battery was still fine. It didn't have this. So at some point I need to try to track myself down one of these. Oop. But the top screen's a bit wonky, so I feel that I need to replace it. I did sort of screw up the installing of the screen. So this one, these weren't really attached properly. The covers for the LCD panels, which I'm just, no. What I did use, however, is I took all the accessories like the power switch, and it's just my multimeter. The D-pad, the buttons, everything original that I had. So this left was originally from here, but the right wasn't available, so I just used the clear one. So yeah, that's nice. I wanted to keep as much of the original case as possible. I'm going to try to fix this by simply getting a new screen. I did sort of tear it up, so I may have bumped a few tracks, unfortunately. Soldering these wires onto this flat flex cable was a real problem. I did kind of bend it along here as well, so I was sort of afraid that one or two of the speakers might not be working, but for the most part they do seem to be. As a mod, this is actually kind of nice. What I'd like to figure out, however, is how I can take this sticker off and then apply it to here, just to, you know, finish it off. But yeah, not 100% proud with how I reassembled the screen, but it works, sort of. The top screen doesn't. But I mean, I could take that Pokemon cartridge, and it's just a glorified Game Boy Advanced player. And I just like to mash the buttons, which is a bit... That is something I'm going to be doing at a later date. So yeah, it's kind of okay. So yeah, that should be the video for now, but honestly, being able to play around with this stuff is really nice. It's nice that I can figure out, oh, okay, so that's what the problem is here, or that's the problem there. And either go completely pointless, throw it aside, throw it away, or crap, I'm going to need to spend X amount of money to fix this or fix that or do this. It just... No, I'm not putting that away. So that's my box of goodies. I still have this to fix. That doesn't even seem to initialize, so I'm hoping there's a problem with the power supply that I can fix. I have been learning about switch mode power supplies, and it would be nice to be able to repair the little buggers. So if I get to be able to do that, well, yay. Also, not all switch mode power supplies are small, I'm aware of that. I have some out of plasma televisions that are just, wow. A lot of good fun components you can also pull off of them, but yay. Oh well. These are really fun and useful. If you are going to be working on stuff like this and you're just practicing, so many problems. Just get a normal whiteboard marker, you can use the crappy one that comes with it, and you just write where all the parts go, or they came from. Anyway, I'm going to put this video off now and let this fully charge, and yay, I probably should have done a video on that PlayStation 4 controller. Anyway, see ya.